Well, Prime Minister Mark Carney is on his way to China this week in an effort to improve testy trade relations. Our province stands to benefit, but has also been kept close in those ties, even through the tough talk of the past couple of years at the federal level. We are joined by the CEO of the Crown Corporation, Invest Alberta, Christiaanse, who is going to be going to China tonight as part of a delegation. So thanks so much for being here before your big trip here. What has Invest Alberta's relationship been like with China over the past few years?
It's been really quite close. And actually, this is my 9th visit into China coming up. And it's really all about building those long-term relationships, right? When you look at Chinese culture, they don't deal with you on a one-off basis. They want to know you. They want to know your organization. They want to know the province of Alberta, which they know really well.
Now, federally, Canada and China, it's been frosty the last couple of years. How did you navigate that provincially, still maintaining these ties, even though federally it was a much different story?
Alberta's always had deep relationships with the Chinese. All the oil companies that are in China are actually present here. Alberta traditionally has attracted almost $60 billion worth of investment, about 50% of what Canada already has. So while people recognize that there were issues with the federal government, we've been able to separate ourselves from that and go from there.
So now the federal government is making this trip, trying to strengthen ties again. How much have they leaned on you in the lead up to these meetings?
There's lots of discussions going back and forth because we've been working on a number of great projects that Alberta's interested in pursuing further that we want to advance. And that is really practical because it gives us something to talk about. So there's lots of ongoing discussions.
And so what will your role be over the next little while as you make your way to China yourself?
I will do my own set of meetings to make sure that we remain abreast of whatever's happening and then provide support to the federal government wherever they need it to move things forward.
Now, a lot of talk about a pipeline to the West Coast and to Asian markets. What are you hearing from both sides, from our country and from China, about the prospect of this pipeline?
The Chinese are highly interested in our oil and gas. They have been trying to diversify for a number of years. For all the times I've been there, they've always said we'd like more of Alberta's oil, and we've always been able to have to say, well, there's really no opportunity to do that. So they're incredibly excited about the fact the MOU got signed last fall and all the work Premier and her team have been doing. So this is going to help us advance that discussion greatly.
Now, how big it would be some sort of reduction on canola tariffs and on the other side, EV tariffs? What would that do for relationships and for business between the two countries?
I think the EV challenge is a really interesting one. I've driven some of the Chinese cars and have seen the EVs, and they're a lot less expensive. They're about $15,000 to $20,000. So I think for consumers in Canada, being able to get access to those vehicles would be amazing.
Now, given your experience, what sort of tact, what sort of approach should the Prime Minister be taking with this delegation as he makes his way to China?
Number one, Mark Carney has been to China a number of times and has a great reputation there already. So it's building on what we already have. It's just continuing to advance the day-to-day work that we're doing, picking specific projects, of which Alberta has quite a few, and moving those forward. I think the Chinese are really looking for us to move things forward at this point.
Now, what are you expecting to come out of these meetings? Is this going to be a one-time thing, or, as you said, is it going to be a back and forth that this is going to slowly take shape?
It has to be a back and forth. That's the way the Chinese operate. They want to talk things through. They want to understand what's happening. The ambassador there and I, who have met frequently as well, have always been working on things. So this is one step along the way, but I think it's helpful to push some things over the line, both here in Canada and in China.
Okay, well, a lot coming in the next couple of days. Rick, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
And best of luck with your trip to China.
Thank you very much.